Hello everyone. Today I'm bringing a series of videos discussing the evolution of the British wartime respirator, the haversack, and its contents. Now, there's just one point I would like to clearly make out. I do not have a Mark V haversack, so really my timeline starts off with the Mark VI haversack and really ends at the light anti-gas respirator. The reason being I don't have a Mark V is simply because Mark V haversacks are getting, well, not in particularly hard to find, they're just getting a little bit more uncommon. Well, they are getting a little bit more hard to find. It's just not many of them turn up on the market. So without any further ado, let's take a look at the contents of the first general service respirator. So this is the first general service respirator and its haversack. This is the Mark VI haversack with a general service Mark IV Special T Mic. One point I would like to preface is that the actual carrying strap itself is not original to the haversack. It is an original strap, but however, like I said, it's not original to the haversack strap. So we'll actually talk, what I'll do is I'll empty out everything and we'll talk about the haversack itself. So now we're going to take a look at the compartments of the general service respirator Mark VI haversack. So as you can see, we have one big compartment on the front. We have two D-rings on the side. That being for a piece of whipcord that could be tied around the haversack. So yes, you would have a piece of whipcord and that's how you get it much more closer to the chest. On the bottom, you have two ventilation holes, as they would call it. On the back, you have a separate pocket, which of course in both of these pockets would contain the ointment anti-gas, also the cotton waste, but cotton waste I do not have, and the anti-gas eye shields. See, there is nothing on the sides of the haversacks. As you can see, the strap itself, unlike the ones that would come later on in the war, these are just a simple D-ring with this brass hook on, another D-ring, then this strap, this buckle, and then of course you have this little ring here to which you would tie. Not tie, but you would actually hook, use this little hook here, if I can do it, that is, so you could bring it closer to the body that way. I think that was mainly done in 1940. I think that's what it was mainly done. This one is an original, broad arrow 177, and then where's the other stamp? Here it is. The other stamp is this one. This is made by WNG Limited, and underneath is 1942. So that's what it is. Oh, it even says that this is a Mark VI for the Mark VI haversack, as the Mark V would only have one of these hooks, and it would be simple, just the strap be threaded through the other side. So we'll take a look in the inside compartment of the big haversack. I would just like to preference something else. We kind of went through a bit of a phase where we used the standard Nui press stud, into which we ultimately went to these much more commercial press studs as well. So as you can see, they're much more like the modern day press studs that I've seen. So the stamps are on the top, Mark VI, and this one's H&S. And then 1940 something, so I think that's 1942. That's what it looks like. And of course you have two big compartments. You have one for your filter, or it's either the other one for the filter, one's for the face piece. You have another compartment in the front with a bit of card in there, good to know. And you would have, if I can get the light in there, that is. There is, just a bit like the S6, there is a little loop right there for the anti-dimming outfit, which is exactly what is seen in here. So now, of course, in front of me is the contents of the haversack. Like I said, we are missing the cotton waste. Cotton waste is it's just basically just cotton. It literally does what it says on the tin. It even says on the eye shields. So we'll start off left to we'll actually go from right to left. So on the far right we have the anti-dimming outfit Mark 5. This is a very early one. This is 1936, August 1936. BW and 8 ml, I think. So of course in one side you would have the compound for the eyes, and then the other side you have the actual cloth that you would have, and then you would have, and then that's that, and then we have the ointment anti-gas number 2. This one would be period correct, as the number 2 came in from about, I think it was 1939 or even 1940, and went all the way through to 1941, I think. So this one was made by, you just see it there, it's the most pathetic little stamp, MB, which is Metal Box. So this was made by the Metal Box company. As you can see, it all has the contents in. And of course there is supposed to be a an ink stamp underneath, but nope. So we have those, and then you have the eye shields. These ones are a much more later pair. You're supposed to have a Mark II. I do have a Mark II, but it's in very poor condition. Well, it's in okay condition. The actual outer bit is rotting away. So eye shields, anti-dust or anti-gas Mark 1. You have untinted and you have a tinted set. This one's been, I think it's been restamped in 54. The interesting part is, how comes these are Mark 1s, and yet these were made in, oh, if the light can focus. How come these are Mark 1s, but yet they were made in 1944? And yet the Mark 2s that I have were made in 1942. What's going on there? So basically on the inside, you would have, which does what it says on the tin, you have a untinted, and you have a, where did tinted pairs go? Oh, here it is. The tinted ones. There's a good reason why these always get stuck together. These bits here, where the female part of the press stud is, these bits are actually made out of the same material that the gas capes are made out of. So that's why they get stuck together. So a bit of a bummer, but you know what? At least it has the eye shields, even though yet the general service respirator would be phased out of service by 1944. So these would be more appropriate for the light anti-gas respirator. It even says on the back what should be contained on the inside. If it will focus, that is it's either that or it's the front. Yeah, cotton waste, the ointment, the eye shields, that's about it. And then the final piece we're going to talk about is the general service respirator Special T Mic. So what I'll do is I'll actually clear all the other contents away, and we'll bring the general service respirator Mark 4 Special T Mic into shot. So here we have the general service respirator Mark 4 Special T Mic. Also, if you're wondering what this is masking tape. There's a good reason why it's on the filter, because the filters do contain blue asbestos. I know if one person might see this, the War Room collector. I do apologize if you see this. Then again, backstory. About in late 2024, I was ultimately, I had a health scare, which was, I had a pulmonary hemorrhage, to which it was a bleed in the bottom half of my lung. and I was just coughing up blood. First time it wasn't too bad. Second time I lost 2 liters of blood. So ultimately, I think my health reason is ultimately justified why I want to tape these up. Just note that this is masking tape. It's not as strong, so I highly doubt if someone did take this off, the paint wouldn't come off. It's not like duct tape or anything where it's really strong, you'll probably rip the paint off. But either way. So back to the Mark IV. So the Mark IV Special T Mic was mainly introduced because the original Mark IV doesn't actually have this part in. This part here, you can buy the microphones even today. So basically you had a plug-in microphone, so the microphone would clip onto the side and you would be able to speak, because unlike the original Mark IV, this part did not exist whatsoever. This one is an original. I can find the manufacturer, which is underneath. The manufacturer is made by, it's an Avon. It's made in 1941 and it's a size large. I believe these only came in normal and large, I believe. Of course, you've got your 2 lenses, L31. The head harness on this is in pretty good nick, but however, the stampings are completely gone. So if I just try to, just crack open the, not really crack it open, but, move all the head harness out the way. So as you can see on the inside, you have large, and then you have, I think, Special T. The one thing that I probably should do is probably get some silicone lubricant to protect the rubber, as unfortunately the rubber, even though when you buy Mark IVs, the rubber's in typically good condition because the stocking net preserves everything. The rubber on this one has unfortunately split right in the middle. It's a bit of a bummer, but then again, I'm never going to wear this because of blue asbestos. So, another reason why. So, I ain't too bothered. You don't wear these anyways. The filter itself is the red one. The red filter that came out later, because they did use a buff coloured filter. The stampings are on the other side. It's really dusty. This one is a 1941 example, and underneath it is number 4A. It's a 6E filter. 6E. Oh yeah, 1941. Almost looks like that says MWNS. But no, it isn't MWNS because I know MWNS didn't make these. So either way, that is the Mark IV Special T Mic. Well, I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, like always. If you did, then please subscribe and like. Ring the notification bell as well. Share the video if you really want to. And bye for now.